Now, in the past half hour, King Charles has been heckled outside Lichfield Cathedral over the ongoing and deepening scandal involving his brother, Prince Andrew. It's a dire time for the royal family, and this world exclusive on the front page of The Sun certainly isn't going to help matters. In order to vacate Royal Lodge, Andrew is demanding not only Harry and Meghan's former home, the mansion otherwise known as Frogmore Cottage, but also the current residence of William and Catherine. Not for him, not for his daughters, but for Sarah Ferguson, the non-Duchess who's been divorced from the man for the past 30 years. This is a joke, and as I've said for some time, I really do believe that Prince William is right here when he says there has to be an act of parliament, not just to strip Fergie and Andrew and Beatrice and Eugenie, but to strip Harry and Meghan and their two little blighters too. But as I say, I haven't watched this yet. I want to look at the Sky News coverage because I knew this was going to happen. The Republican movement, the hard leftists are using this crisis in the royal family, are using Charles's health travails, and are using the fact that he's not taking a strong enough stance to try and put the Republican debate on the table. So as I say, this is King Charles during a visit to Lichfield Cathedral in the past half hour. Let's listen and see what happened. I'm watching this at the same time as you.
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? What do you think? Should the MPs be allowed to debate the lawyers in the House of Commons?
So there, one person at least in the crowd talking about the Epstein case and the police, and also Prince Andrew, and evidence, if it were needed, for the King of how this issue is very high in the public mind. And I wonder if we could just listen again to what has just been shouted to the King. Can we? We can't. But I mean, the King is clearly under pressure to do more. And let's just have a listen again.
How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? What do you think? Should the MPs be allowed to debate the lawyers in the House of Commons?
Okay, so we get the picture there. Tennille and Christine Hamilton. Christine, look, I always knew that this was going to be the consequence, that the Republican movement was going to be absolutely emboldened by this. And indeed, in the past hour, Republic have effectively claimed credit for this ambush of the King, writing, "We won't back down. The British public won't back down. Charles is complicit in covering up accusations against Andrew. He needs to be held to account." As a monarchist and as a royalist like me, Christine, this is a deepening crisis, and it really does feel like Charles has to get a better handle on this.
Oh, I think he does. And if he gives in and gives Andrew a house and Fergie a house, I mean, you know, royalists like me will be revolted by that. I'm sorry, but they've been divorced for 30 years. They've got plenty of money between them. Plenty of divorced couples have to find two places to live. Just, you know, he can have a house, okay, because he's still a royal prince. But the idea that we, the taxpayer or the King, should provide his divorced wife of 30 years, who was also very closely involved with Epstein, let's not forget her appalling emails, with a house. I mean, what? It's just mind-boggling. But I do, I hate to say this, and it pains me to say it, but I do feel that our deeply beloved late Queen did spoil Andrew, and I think possibly her indulgence of him encouraged his sense of entitlement. And that's what he is. He's a pretty thicko, dumb, but also has this hugely exaggerated sense of entitlement. And he now clearly thinks that he's entitled to a house and his ex-wife of 30 years is entitled to a house. Well, come off it. He can exchange one house for another house, full stop, leave it at that. and then please go away. I mean, why doesn't he go and live in the castle of May, where we would never have to see him again? All the way up there. He can watch all his videos.
Well, he said he doesn't want to be cold. Neil, do you think that the monarchy is genuinely under threat because of...
I think this is certainly a bit of a sideshow, but the trouble is it keeps going on and on and on. And if there's any truth in this claim that Andrew is angling for 2 residences, whatever size they are, it's just going to keep the story bubbling along. Has he got absolutely zero judgment whatsoever about how this...
Well, I mean, we know that. We know that he doesn't. Look, let me just take you through the key details of the story, Neil, before I get you to go on, because it is just worth looking at this report from The Sun in just a little bit more detail. So they report Prince Andrew and ex-wife Sarah Ferguson have agreed to leave Royal Lodge, but want 2 homes in return. Andy demanded Harry and Meghan's ex-Windsor pad, Frogmore Cottage, and exit talks with palace bosses. Fergie is lining up nearby Adelaide Cottage after William and Kate leave next month. A friend of the pair said no one is really sure how it's going to go down at the palace yet. He is realistic and knows the writing is on the wall and that his time at Royal Lodge is up. William and Kate are due to leave Adelaide Cottage next month. Neither house would need renovations or cost taxpayers more on security as they lie within the Windsor Castle security perimeter. Talks are said to be continuing on how much rent Andrew and Fergie would be charged. The friend added Andy is willing to leave, but these are his demands. I mean, Neil, to me, I just don't think this solves the problem, does it? It's like they're still effectively grace and favour mansions paid for by the taxpayer and the royal family. I don't see how it's any better that he's in 2 houses within the Windsor estate than just staying put in Royal Lodge.
Well, I don't think it'll be paid for by the taxpayer because the houses will be owned by the Crown Estate, which is, like a trust, and the trustees have legal obligations not to deplete the assets of the trust. So they couldn't just give him a grace and favour residence. Somebody would have to pay the market rent.
Well, he's paying a peppercorn a year at the moment, so we know the types of arrangements that come. But yes, I hear your point.
Yeah, but I mean that's because all the value in whatever arrangement he's got on Royal Lodge at the minute is in the lease premium, not in a ground rent. That happens pretty regularly in leasehold arrangements. So I don't think there's anything very much in that particular point. My guess is that what he's angling for here is for the king to pay his rent. And if I don't know what resources Andrew has got, we're not privy to his personal finances. And we know that he got the Queen to stump up 12 million quid for that payoff over the allegations were made against him by that girl whose name I can't now remember. But
Virginia Giuffre.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it was her, wasn't it? So presumably he doesn't have a very deep pocket to dip into for the scale of his aspirations on how to live. But given that he isn't actually going to be going anywhere very much out in public, then I don't suppose he's got to have any image of himself to keep up in terms of grandeur. So why doesn't he just pipe down and put up with the result of what's happened, which is all due to his spectacular failures of judgment going back for many, many years.
I know, but Neil, what about this Act of Parliament, though, that William wants? Surely that's actually what's required here, because do it all, Neil, in one fell swoop. Deal with Andrew and Fergie once and for all, but also deal with the Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lily problem, because trust me, that is an unexploded...
As tensions mount inside the royal family, King Charles faces growing public anger and personal embarrassment. From being heckled outside a church to privately blaming the late Queen for Andrew's downfall, the monarch's leadership is under fire. Meanwhile, Prince Andrew and Fergie's demands for luxury homes only add fuel to the fire, painting a picture of a monarchy in crisis and a king struggling to protect its reputation. But the question remains, is Charles a victim of circumstances or the author of his own royal chaos? Share your thoughts below. Do you think King Charles should take responsibility for Prince Andrew's scandals? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more royal updates, breaking news, and honest palace analysis every week.